Getting your first paying customers is the hardest part of building any product. Not because it's complicated, because nobody tells you where to actually find them. I build multiple products, different niche, different audiences, different situations, and I learn something different every single time. Today I'm sharing every channel that worked for me and what I learned from each one. Before I get into the channels, one thing you need to understand first. Having an audience changed everything. When I launched a product with no audience in the space, finding users was slow and manual. When I launched something where people already knew me, I got paying users in the first week. Same effort, completely different result. Build the audience before you build the product, or at least at the same time. Never after. Keep that in mind as I go through each channel, because some of them will work better with an audience and some of them will work even you don't have one. Joining X was my best decision ever. X is where I have the most success, but not by posting links. That doesn't work. What works is being genuinely useful in public, answering questions, sharing what you are learning, talking about the problems your product solves before even you mention the product. When I launched my SEO tool SEOsas, I already have people on X who knew what I was building. They have seen my posts for days, and when I launched, they were ready. So first paying users in a week, easy. X is also where building in public lives. Post the process, not just the result. Post when things are hard, not just when they work. And that's really build trust with people, and this really worked for me very, very well growing my X account. On X, trust comes before sales, always. So don't be spammy and be always helpful with people. I promise this compounds. TikTok and Instagram. For niche products, especially apps with a visual site, short video is really powerful. With my scuba apps, I made content for divers, not just about the app, about the world they live in, the dives, the experience, the things divers actually care about, and the app appears naturally in that content. Also, I have a personal scuba account on Instagram with 23,000 followers where I share the app in a founder way, building in public and sharing the app in a helpful way, as I say, not spamming. People in that niche found me and found the videos, and some DM me or enroll the app. And sometimes I DM people. Don't be afraid of DM people, because they will become users. And in the worst scenario, they will say no, it's nothing to lose. The key thing, you don't need millions of views. In a niche, 500 views from the right people is worth more than 50,000 views from the wrong ones. So the product working, not just the landing page, not just the logo, the actual product solving a real problem in 30 seconds, even less. Replicate viral content adapted to your niche. Don't copy, replicate it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Also, carousel photos works super well. 5 photos, first with a strong hook, then some value on the next ones, and on the fifth, include a CTA. Don't forget to include the CTA, because otherwise nobody will know your app. And I can't really talk about this for a whole video, so let me know in the comment if you are interested, and I just can create a video about all this content. Also, at the moment, I'm trying to automate all these carousels and this content on TikTok and Instagram, so if this work, I will also share it in a new video. Call outreach. This one is underrated. Nobody talks about it, but it's one of the most effective things I ever done. For my scuba marketplace, think about Airbnb, but for scuba diving, I need dive centers listed on the platform. So I contact them directly, one by one, or kind of short messages made with ChatGPT. I don't even create them. Something like, I building a marketplace for scuba divers and your dive center will be a great fit. You get free exposures to divers looking for exactly what you offer. Can I add you? That's how I got 200 dive centers into the platform. Not from social media, from emails to real businesses. I know, it's slow, it's uncomfortable, especially at the beginning, but I promise it will get better. And some people never reply. But when you have no audience and no traffic and you don't know how to start, this is old school and it's the most direct path to a real person who may say yes. I think call outreach is not spam if you actually care about the person you are writing to. And I have a video about it on this channel that I will link it here, so you know more about how to do the whole process. This video is sponsored by Floot. If you are building a product, especially if you are doing it alone, Floot is worth knowing about. It's an AI app builder. You describe what you want and it builds that. Full stack, backend, database, hosting, all in one place. No setup, no switching tools. Real people are building real products with real users on Floot. And you keep your code and you can export it anytime. If you have an idea and you keep waiting until you know enough to build it, stop waiting. Link is in the description. Building in public. Building in public is not just a way to get customers. It's a way to build something better. When I was working on products before I have much of an audience, setting the process in public gave me feedback I couldn't have gotten in any other way. Real people telling me what I was wrong, what was confusing, what they really wanted or they really needed. And then as the audience grew, that same habit became a sales channel. People who have followed the journey for weeks were the first to pay when I opened up access for COSAS, PeerQuick, or my ebook to grow next. They didn't need convincing. They have already seen the product evolve, and also that happened especially with COSAS, because with COSAS I share the whole journey. So when I just add some features, I share it on X and they see how the product evolved and if they really wanted to pay for that. So they already trust me. The launch was not the beginning. It was just the moment when I opened the door to people who already know me to get my product. The follow-up. This connects directly to the call outreach. Not every dive center reply at the first time. Some opened the message, some just didn't answer. So a week later, I follow up. Something simple. Hey, I reached you out a while ago about Be Underwater, the marketplace for scuba divers. Just wanted to check if you have a chance to look at it. So you get free exposure to divers searching in your area. Still interested? And some of them say yes at the second time. Some people were just busy or they forgot, so one message is not enough. And this works beyond marketplace, applied to any niche, or for example on tech. you can apply to DMs on X, for example. A follow-up message is always worthy. Most people don't say no, they just forget. So one follow-up is not annoying, it's a reminder. Reddit. I will be honest about Reddit. Reddit is not my main channel. The platform can be brutal and it's easy to get banned if you promote anything directly. But the times I done it correctly, finding a thread where someone has exactly the same problem I solve, answering it really well and only mentioning my product at the end, it brought me some leads. Mostly to my YouTube channel and to broader tools like Theosas or Perquick, not to my niche products. So in scuba diving was a little bit dead. All these small niche, I think that they don't have much traffic there, so better focus in other platforms like Instagram or TikTok. I will include it as an option. I just don't think it's my favorite option. Just know the rule, help first, mention your product last, or sometimes don't even mention your product, just DM people. And get ready to be ignored or banned if you don't. Reddit punish promotion very hard and people usually is really mean there. Just know that before you post. What didn't work? Product Hunt or other launching platforms, you have lots of votes but almost no paying customers. Posting links in random groups like in Facebook or other social media platforms, you will just get ignored or banned, and generic DMs to many people at once. Most of the times you will have no responses, and also a free plan hoping people pull out great. This is not a good option because they use the free plan and that's it. Anything that felt like spam didn't work at all. Anything that felt like real conversation and real connection with people did. So to recap, X for building trust and audience, TikTok and Instagram for visual niche products. Cold outreach when you have nothing else. Building in public always. One follow-up, and Reddit if you are careful. None of these needs a budget. I grew all my channels in an organic way. You just need consistency and patience. Pick one channel, do it well, and then add another. If this was useful, subscribe. I share the honest version of building products as a solo founder every week. And tell me in the comments which one is working for you and which one you're gonna try now. I read every single one.